Oil and gas, clean tech and green tech. These are the areas that David Koris has to concern himself with on a day-to-day basis. He's the head of IP at Royal Dutch Shell. And here in Amsterdam at the IPBC Global, he told Jack Ellis what these new as well as old and traditional areas of the energy business mean to him.
I think what's unique about the oil and gas space is that it is so crucial that partnering takes place and you bring IP to the table to help in that partnering, because after all, some of the greatest challenges that we have include climate and also include energy sustainability. And so we really need the ability to partner successfully, and to do that we need our IP to bring to the table to form a clear understanding of what the relationship's going to be based on.
Clearly protecting market share is very important for companies in your sector in terms of IP management and IP strategy. But I wanted to ask about more strategic, if we can use that word, uses of IP, such as open innovation, collaboration, and monetization as well. Have you seen more of a move towards that kind of use of IP among oil and gas and energy companies?
Yeah, I think this is a bit aligned with the last question, and that is, in order to solve some of the major problems of the world, greater levels of partnering have to take place. And when you do R&D in a partnering relationship, or with many partners, open innovation, cloud sourcing, many of the tools that are at our disposal now, you have to have an IP organization within a company that's very disciplined. So absolutely sharing takes place. The IP strategies really have to govern, especially in a large company, exactly where the priorities are. So if your IP strategy in a partnering relationship indicates that you must own all the IP and it will only be for internal purpose, that structure needs to be presented in the beginning and has to be quite transparent. Similarly, if you're dealing in a portfolio where a lot of the information is trade secrets, but you're working, partnering in part of the world where the IP's national system is under development, you really need to be quite conscious of what procedures you put in place and whether or not you can partner there with trade secrets.
So it sounds like IP strategy is moving towards the center of the overall corporate strategy in your sector, as it has in other places as well.
Well, I think it's important to understand that at the center of a business is doing business, and this is the IP Business Congress, and I think it's very appropriately named. We have to keep our eye on IP, but as IP has become more sophisticated, as well as the delivery of IP best practices, more and more it's moving towards a greater alignment between an understanding of the economics underlying the business and the development of IP. So it's almost a bit improper just to speak about development of IP on its own without the primary focus being on the economics of the business.
And how do you communicate a concept like IP value to your senior management and your board members? What tools do you use and what methods do you use?
Well, I think as being a journalist, you're no doubt very successful because you know how to speak to intellectual property people in this setting. And so it's very much the language that you use, and the language of the people you've identified, the CEO, executive committees, board members, is the discussion of business. So you need to be speaking in terms of dollars, euros, and won, and you need to be able to translate the value that you create in line with business plan, technology creation, and IP strategy, and then ultimately the IP assets into specifically that. What's it worth? Okay, and when you can make that translation, the discussion moves forward as a normal business discussion.